Hi friends, it's Deanna here today, and today we're finishing off our beautiful square neck hack dress. Remember, we did the square neck, then we attached a half circle skirt and we drafted our own pocket. If I can find it, here it is. Today we are adding our sleeves. So stick around and let's see just how beautiful this dress turns out. Super excited. All right, y'all, I am super excited about the sleeve. So the sleeve that I ended up going with, I asked a lot of our followers what they thought was good, and I got so many across the board different answers. Some people thought long was great, some people thought flutter was great, but a lot of people said like a flutter sleeve, and some said bishop. So I said, okay, well, you know what? Let's mix the two together, and I'm gonna show you how to elasticate your bishop sleeve to create this kind of puffy sleeve that we're gonna create. I'm going to make it like a shorter sleeve, and I'm going to put an elastic waistband here at the hem, and we're going for like a cute little puffy, sort of puffy sleeve. So let's do that together. The first thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna cut out my pattern. And honestly, as the last few videos, we've been kind of hoping that this fabric will last for the whole dress, and it has. These are my like last scrap pieces, and I'm super excited. I already measured my sleeve and they're gonna fit into this fabric, so I'm so excited about it. Now, the thing about this sleeve, I think this sleeve would look super beautiful, super gorgeous in a very flowy fabric, even like a, this would be a perfect hack to use on like a sheer fabric or some kind of lace fabric or something like that. Would be super cute on this too. But I wanted to use the same fabric because I wanted to keep the whole thing going. I don't often like to change the fabric on just the sleeves, and if I'm gonna do that, I would have probably used like a black lace or something like that, a black mesh, but I don't have any of that right now that I thought would go with this dress, so I wanted to go with the same fabric. I'm using the Cuddle Tunic sleeves, the bishop sleeves from the Cuddle Tunic, and all I'm doing is I'm folding this pattern basically in half and matching the top of the shoulder, the cap of the shoulder, like right in half with my sleeve. So this is the bottom of the sleeve, and it's kind of, that's like right in half. So that's how long I'm making my sleeve. Now you can go based on that and see how my sleeve turns out, and then say, you know what, she should have done it a little bit longer, or you know what, she should have done it a little bit shorter, and go from that and decide how long or how short you want to do your sleeve when you try this hack, because I know you're going to try it with me. So I'm going to place my pattern over, and I'm just going to cut it exactly the same, except for I'm going to shorten it like I said. Now, actually, you know what, I'm gonna try to get as much length as possible, like another, I think I'm gonna be able to get like another ½ inch. And the only reason why I'm doing that is because I wanted to have hem allowance, because obviously I'm gonna hem it, but I'm gonna hem it up enough that I'm going to attach that elastic. So usually whatever length you want your sleeve plus the hem, and plus a little bit more, so let's say about 1 inch more, because what I'm going to do once I cut the sleeve, I'm going to, you know what, let me go ahead and cut it and then I'll show you what I'm going to do. All right, my sleeve is cut out, so this is what I'm going to do. Now, you know, for the Cuddle Tunic, they're going to be, the Cuddle Tunic, for the bishop sleeves, I am going to sew them right sides together once I'm ready to attach them, because I'm gonna attach them, I'm gonna inset the sleeve. I already sewed up the sides of my dress. If you did not see how I did the neck of my dress or how I attach a skirt, be sure to check out those videos. And the top of my sleeve, we're gonna gather it a little bit so it'll fit into my arm side. But the bottom, which we're gonna do now before we even, and I cut this, I went out a little bit right here when I cut this one side because it was at the edge. So I'm just fixing that. The bottom, since I wanna elasticate it, I wanna encase the elastic in there. If you're using a fabric that's gonna fray, you wanna kind of give it a little hem first. But since this is knit and it's gonna be just fine, I'm going to fold it about 1 inch up. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to, instead of just doing one row of hem, I'm going to do 2 rows. And the only reason why I'm doing 2 rows instead of just one, you can just do 1 row right here, top stitch right here, and have this like it'll end up being like a casing. And then once that's topped down, you can insert your elastic through here and you will gather your sleeve. Then what we would do is we would catch that elastic on each side so it stays still. But what I want to do is I want to go ahead and sew it one right here at the top to create that hem. And then right below it, I'm going to sew it again. And this is gonna make me a little channel right here. So this will be, I'll insert my elastic, which I'm going to probably do like a 1/4 inch elastic. And I'm going to sew like a 1/2 inch gap right here is what I'm going to do. I'm going to hem right here, right on top of the edge, right at the edge, like a 1/8 inch right here, hem. Then I'm going to go down about a 1/2 inch and do another line right here of hemming straight stitches, which, well, I'm going to do top stitching. I'm going to do my my cover stitch. You can do a straight stitch, a stretch stitch, sorry. Oh, y'all, I can't talk tonight. But I'm gonna insert my elastic through here, and that will give me like a little wave of fabric right here at the bottom that will be just kind of wiggling out and have like this wiggling effect. I just want, that's the effect I want to go for. But if you want to simplify and just elasticate the bottom, you could even do a shorter hem right here, like a 1/2 inch hem, and then just insert your elastic right underneath here. Okay, but I want to do it the other way. So I'm going to go up 1 inch, and I'm going to put in a stretch stitch or a top stitch or a hemming stitch right here at the top. And then I'm going to go down 1 inch and put 1/2 inch and put another one right here at the edge. Okay, so let's go do that. I'm going to do that for both sleeves. All right, we're going to start here at the top and top stitch. All right, then we're going to go down to our next place, leaving, remember we said a 1/2 inch seam allowance. That's where our elastic's gonna go. I've got this tiny little elastic, so really I don't need a whole lot, but it just depends on how wide you wanna make that casing right there where you want the elastic, or if you want a big thick elastic or whatever you want that to be. Now, I already cut out my elastic piece. I measured my bicep and I figured out how tight I wanted that elastic to be, and I went ahead and cut the elastic, and I'm gonna insert it through that little casing right there that we created all the way. And see how once I squish that up, sorry, I'll show you after because it's okay. See how when I squish that up, this piece kind of stands up because there's not elastic on it, it's just kind of wiggly. That's the look I want to go for. That's why I just wanted to elasticate a casing, not the whole thing. But you know, it just all depends on what look you're going for. Once I get it almost in there like that, I'm going to go in and do a back and forth stitch so it won't come out the other end. So my elastic is trapped in there. And I'm going to do the same on the other side. See how cute that's going to be at the bottom? Alright, so now that bottom of my sleeve is prepped. That's going to be adorable. Now, what I'm going to do after that is I'm going to match those raw edges here at the edge and sew them together to prep my sleeve. And I'm also going to put in a gathering stitch at the top of my sleeve, at the cap of my sleeve, to gather that top of my sleeve to fit into my top. So I'm going to extend my stitch to a 5, and I'm going to put in that just a basting stitch here from the top around the top of my cap, because I will be gathering that sleeve top to fit into my shoulder cap. So I'm going to do that for the other sleeve as well, and then I'm going to, like I said, fold it here at the side edge and sew it together. I'm going to do that on my serger, so I'll eat up all these strings. Make sure that you line them up right here really nicely when you're going to sew them. Let's do that for both sleeves. All right, I know you're wondering two things. Number one, I did go to my sewing machine. I ended up just doing a straight stitch on my sewing machine because my sleeve is gathered. So it's gonna be okay if it's not, if it is a straight stitch. So I thought that would be just fine. Look at how cute it looks down here where it has that little excess that just kind of flares out. That's exactly what I wanted to do, and that's why I wanted that casing instead of just putting the elastic at the edge. Again, that's up to you. Because we sewed it together, now we're gonna grab this thread right here, and what I like to do is I just like to fold it right onto my seam allowance and zigzag stitch it down. But there's other ways you can fix that. There is a tutorial on our YouTube channel if you wanna go check that out. And the second thing is I'm using my backup serger because I'll tell you, I'm a mess. My nice serger, I broke a needle on it, and when I got it serviced the last time, the repairman, he tightened the bolt like really, really tight. So now I can't unscrew the needle. It's broken and I can't unscrew it. So I'm waiting for my husband to help me fix it. So in the meantime, I'm like, I don't want to stop sewing. I still want to sew. So thankfully I have that backup serger that is ready to do the job. It was like, I can help, I can help. So I was like, you got it. Anyway, so let's move on. I've got my sleeve and I'm folding it in half to find the middle of the top of the sleeve. That way when I go to sew it on, I know exactly where the top is before I gather it. So I'm doing this before I gather it. I'm grabbing my dress and we're going to fit that sleeve in here. I'm gonna gather just, like I said, it really is just a little gather. It's not that much of a gather. I'm just pulling on that bobbin thread and gathering that sleeve just a little bit. And I like to have the gathering mostly at the top where I've met the top right there. So it's kind of more like a cap sleeve than a gathered sleeve. If you can see, it's more like right at the top is gathered, not everywhere, just like right here. That's what I like. But again, this is your preference. And now we're gonna fit that sleeve in the arm side, right sides together. So the right side of the sleeve is going to touch the right side of my arm side. Let me turn this dress inside out because that will be easier than trying to maneuver it. Now remember that we have a lining and an outer on this dress. So we want to make sure that we fit it in and we attach it to both the outer and lining. That's the bottom of the sleeve. I don't want to attach that. So I am grabbing the armpit area of my sleeve and I'm matching that with the armpit area of my dress right here. Remember, grab both liner and outer. From there, I'm going to match them together without pulling or anything, those raw edges of my sleeve until I get to the top where I'm gonna have that gathering stitch. So I'm going to one side and then I'm gonna do the same on the other side. Right sides together. So now this top right here is the part that I'm going to have gathered. So you're going to gather as much as you need to for it to fit, for the sleeve to fit into your arm side. And like I said, I just like my gathers to be at the front. So that's why, at the top I mean. So that's why I don't go all the way down. And then we're gonna go ahead and sew it on. And we're gonna do this for both. Now if you want another look at how to attach the sleeve, like if you wanna do the full version of the bishop sleeve, we do have other tutorials on how to do the bishop sleeve. So go ahead and check it out. And we also have other tutorials on how to add the bishop sleeve to other patterns. I've added the bishop sleeve to the Fall in Love. I added it to the Discover Tee. I've added it to a dress. I've added it to so many patterns because I just love a good bishop sleeve, and this is a really good one. So I'm going to go ahead and do this to the other sleeve as well, and then we're going to just sew that on. Y'all, my friendly friends, how adorable did this dress turn out? Just look at these sleeves. I am obsessed. I feel like I'm gonna have to put these sleeves on everything from now on. I love them. Like, I love them way more than I even thought I was gonna love them, and I don't know how that's possible. I love how this dress, this half circle skirt, is amazing, and the square neck, super cute. I am obsessed. If you did not check out how I did the square neck, go check that out. If you did not check out how I attached this beautiful half circle skirt to the Wrapped in Love dress and added my own self-drafted pocket, go check that out so you can make this beautiful dress with me. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. Please comment, like, share, subscribe. Let me know what you want to see. Let me know if you love this sleeve. How cute is it? And come find us on Facebook and Instagram, where everybody else is sharing their makes. We want to see what you're making, and we want to be inspired by you. I hope you have a great rest of your day. Get out there and sew. I know you will enjoy it. I know it looks hard, but it really isn't, and it is so much fun. I hope you have a great rest of your day, and I'll see you all next time. Bye!